What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to JJD TV. I'm your host Josh, and today we're coming at you because the Champions League is starting, so it's time for us to give you some predictions. Seen a lot of videos going around with other people giving their predictions, so we figured we might as well give ours. We weren't sure if we'd have enough time to get this video out, but we're excited to do it, so without further ado, let's just dive right into it. I'm just going to tell you guys basically the matchups, why I think one team would potentially make it over the other, and we'll move on, and we'll hopefully see what you guys have to say in the comments. So, first matchup we're going to talk about is RB Leipzig versus Liverpool. And on paper, you might just immediately think, well, Liverpool. They won the Champions League a couple seasons ago. They won the Premier League. They're the superior club in terms of just having, honestly, a more experienced team when it comes to the Champions League. And you may just assume, all right, well, it's going to be them. But if you really think about it and look at some of their form, I mean, Jurgen Klopp's boys have had a tough season. There's been so many injuries on that poor club when it came from even Alisson, who's been out for a while. I mean, he's back now. Van Dijk, Gomez are still out. They have been just peppered with injuries, and their team's just not clicking. I mean, Thiago hasn't really lived up to expectations and haven't really done what they wanted him to do. One of the top three usually aren't performing at a decent level, and the most important thing is the back line, which they've obviously signed a couple central defenders to hopefully try to come and stable that. But for the most part, they look vulnerable, and it's why that they're sitting right now, I believe, out of a Champions League position in the league. So Leipzig, on the other hand, are pretty much flying in the Bundesliga. They'll probably finish a comfortable second place. They have a manager who's got a game plan, got fit personnel. It'll be close, man. It'll be close, and it would not surprise me if Leipzig took it. But if I'm going to give you my prediction, I just feel through the experience of Klopp and this team, they've been here, they've done that. I just think they have a little bit more experience than Leipzig really do. So I'm going to go with Liverpool on this one. I think that one of the games will be a draw, and the other one will be a very, very close win for Liverpool to see them go through to the quarters. Looking at the second matchup, we're going to take a look at Barcelona versus PSG, and I don't really need to get into this one all that much. I've watched Barcelona play a lot this season. They've been one of my preferred teams to watch when I don't watch Dortmund, mainly because they look like an interesting squad. I know that they lost Suarez, which I wanted to see the way that they were going to cope with it. Would it be Griezmann, Braithwaite, Messi? I like Ronald Koeman, and I just kind of wanted to see how Barca was going to do. Plus, you guys know I've watched them live, so I have a little soft spot, obviously, for Barca because I was able to see them live and watch Messi score. But they are an all-over-the-place kind of team this season. A little unconventional way when it comes to the way that they play. Really, most times, no striker because Braithwaite hasn't really been in the squad of late. I think more than likely it'll be a Messi, Dembele, Griezmann front three. But it's, again, kind of like the Liverpool situation. It's their back line. Also peppered with injuries. A lot of young bodies in there, not very convincing. PSG, I mean, they sacked Tuchel, they got Pochettino in. They still have a pretty solid squad. Their injuries don't seem to be bugging them that much, besides, obviously, Neymar. It is breaking news, of course, with the rumors out once again he was not going to be fit for the Barcelona game, and it seems that way So, even with Neymar out, I would still say PSG are the favorites. Having Mbappe, having even Keane on pretty tip-top form right now, they have a depth, they have a more experienced squad, and I think that they're going to have a comfortable victory. I think they're probably going to beat both legs when it comes to Barcelona and go on to the quarterfinals. Looking at our third matchup, this one relatively straightforward as well. It's Porto, it's Juventus. Porto hasn't even had that great of a season in Liga NOS, so there's nothing really to show them that they may come up with a huge upset. Juventus, again, they haven't been overly convincing as well, but when you look on the paper, you look at the personnel, the way that they play, there's some real game changers in that Juve team, especially Ronaldo. Morata as well is on pretty good form for Juve this season, and I just think they have a much deeper squad. I think they'll have a relatively close game from one of them, but I think when it comes down to it, just over two legs, Juve is just going to be a little bit too much, and I see Juve going through to the quarters as well. The fourth game we're going to look at, because we're going to keep Dortmund for last, is going to be the Lazio versus Bayern Munich. The exact same situation pretty much as the Juve versus Porto. Bayern is just they're on good form. I mean, yes, they slipped up to Bielefeld, but for the most part, they're a powerhouse. They're probably the favorites to retain the Champions League, and Lazio is really competing in their first Champions League in a while, and I think that they were pretty excited to get here. They weren't overly convincing in group stage. They haven't been in really great form when it comes to Serie A, sitting outside of a Champions League position right now, and I think Bayern are relatively going to be having a comfortable time winning both legs in this one. Looking at our fifth matchup, we're going to take a look at Atletico Madrid and Chelsea, and taking a look at these two teams, it's going to be a pretty interesting tie. I think on paper, these are the most even two teams, and they happen to be my La Liga team as well as my Premier League team. And when I looked at it, I mean, the team I really want to win as well as the team that I think is going to win is the same, and it's Atletico Madrid. The only way I see Chelsea really having any type of chance in this game is if Atletico's got one eye on the league, because we know that they are leading La Liga right now. I think they're going to be very excited to hopefully take home that title. But the Champions League is very important, and they seem to always have a great run in the Champions League, from knocking out Liverpool to potentially obviously going to finals that they do, and they do good well in the Europa League. We know that there's just a little European background to Atletico Madrid, which is why I think that they're always a team to be never being worried about. And when it comes to the managers, taking a look at Diego Simeone, he knows how to set up this team. He's even got this team playing fun-flowing attacking football, which is something that you never really hear. He's kind of got out of that traditional 4-4-2 into a 3-4-1-2. We're seeing Llorente and Carrasco turn into these phenomenal players. Llorente can play pretty much anywhere in the park. And of course, they have Luis Suarez, who Barcelona probably should have kept. So I really don't see a way that Chelsea can get through this. I think Tuchel is doing a better job. He even got Timo Werner to score. But all in all, I think Atletico is going to just have enough stubborn defense and enough when it comes to the finishing to be able to go on to the quarterfinals. Taking a look at our sixth matchup, we're going to take a look at the new Borussia Dortmund manager, Marco Rose's Borussia Mönchengladbach taking on Manchester City. And unfortunately for our future manager, I don't see there's a way that Gladbach get through the City team. I think the City team desperately wants the Champions League. It's what Guardiola really came to City to do. He hasn't obviously done that really whatsoever since being at City. So I think they're going to take this unbelievably seriously, and obviously we know that they're top of the league. I still think they would risk potentially not resting players just to make sure everyone is ready to go for the Champions League, and I see them probably winning both of these games and moving on to the quarterfinals. Taking a look at our seventh game, we have Atalanta versus Real Madrid, and this one kind of interesting because Atalanta is a very wild card. They're the number one team in here when I look at the round of 16. That I'm like, that is a wild card team. You never know what performance they're going to do because they play that beautiful 3-4-1-2 formation with really just some of the most appealing football you'll see. But I mean, they lost Papu Gomez, and they're going up to a team in Real Madrid who do have a lot of experience in this competition, especially their managers Zinedine Zidane, Ramos, Varane. These players have all been there, done that. So again, as fun as it is to see Atalanta do well, I don't see them having enough, and I probably see one relatively close game, maybe a draw, followed by probably a pretty comfortable victory, and seeing Madrid move on to the quarterfinals once again. And looking at our eighth and final matchup, it's the one that I didn't really want to do, and it's Sevilla and Borussia Dortmund. And I mean, I've been giving predictions left, right, and center. Whether I do give them, whether I don't give them, it doesn't really seem to matter. I'm a little superstitious, so that's why I don't like doing them. But this is a predictions video, so I have to give you one. And I'm just going to say, I'm going to be just that positive Canadian I am. I'm going to go for Dortmund. Why not? I mean, on paper, Sevilla. On performance, Sevilla. On recent transfers and team momentum, Sevilla. But I'm going to go with Dortmund because they're my club, and you know what? I'm just going to hold out. But in all honesty, it's going to be a very free-flowing, fun kind of game. We know the way that Dortmund has been playing and setting up. It's not really focused on the back. It's more attacking on attack-minded football. And Sevilla is just, they're so structurally run. They are pretty solid on the defense as well, while also being able to stretch a opponent's defense in that 4-3-3 formation. It'll look probably like, in my opinion, like a Leverkusen versus Dortmund game this season, but they're going to be a tough opponents. I mean, Ocampos is one that I keep an eye on, as well as, of course, El Nesri, who's their main man up front, and Diego Carlos is a big guy at the back. So, on paper, man, you want to say Sevilla, but the way I see it is maybe we have a change of shape. Maybe we figured a way to shut them down, frustrate the Sevilla team, and, of course, just take it the couple game changes we had. Sancho, Holland, maybe they take it to another level and see what they can do in the Champions League. Either way, we're going to be doing the watch-along over on our channel on Wednesday, so be sure to check it out there. But that is our final little prediction. I am going to go with Dortmund because I would just feel awful if I didn't. And there is a chance. This is the Champions League, man. It's any of these teams really have a chance to move on to the quarters. We've seen many upsets over the seasons, and we've even seen situations like when Chelsea won the Champions League in 2012. They didn't even qualify for Champions League football, playing brutal in the season, sacked their manager, still moved on to win the Champions League. So take that with a grain of salt. Take it as you will. Those are my predictions. I definitely want to hear your guys' predictions in the comments. So if you guys are new around here, be sure to comment, like, and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.